What up, guys? Welcome back to Rad Resells. I'm Natalie and I'm a full-time reseller, meaning I go to all kinds of thrifting stores, yard sales, garage sales, estate sales, you name it, and I flip items online for a profit. In this video, I will be talking about when or if you should be quitting your full-time job and go full-time reselling. And if that's the type of content that you're interested in watching, go ahead, be rad, click like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. All right, so first and foremost, I started out as a part-time reseller and I had a full-time job on the side. No, I had part-time reselling on the side and I had a full-time job. And I recently, I would say about 6 months ago, I started seriously going full-time reselling, and that's it, right? And I am making more money in reselling than I was in my 9-to-5 job. And so today, I just want to share some personal experiences and just opinion on when you should be quitting or if you should be quitting your full-time job to go full-time reselling. The short answer to the question, when should you quit your full-time job to go full-time reselling, is when you on a consistent basis have been hitting your net profit for X amount of months. And I know this is kind of like a terrible answer because, well, what's the net profit and what's X amount of months? I recommend 6 months straight hitting your net profit in sales. And by net profit in sales, I mean that's the income that you're actually bringing in, not sales, not gross sales, not what you're selling items for, but what you're actually getting into your bank account after all the fees, shipping fees, transaction fees, cost of good fees, and also you got to consider taxes at the end of the year as well. So that's the number I'm talking about. This number is different from person to person. The number for me that I need to hit will be different from yours. The reason for that is because it's a very situational kind of number. It depends on whether you live alone, like by yourself, and you provide for yourself, or whether you live with someone else and are you co-providers in terms of financials, or are you the sole provider, or is the person you're living with the sole provider? That will also affect this number, whether it's higher or lower. And also, are you providing for other people? Let's say you got kids, or you're providing for someone else, maybe a mom, a sister, a brother, parent, you name it. This will also affect that number. So you have to figure out what your costs are that you're responsible for. So that's the number you have to hit. So rent, car insurance, your car payment, utility bills, you name it, stuff like that. And then also if you have any other expenses that fluctuate, you need to be able to hit that number. If you don't know what number you need to hit, just do the math. Just do the math. What do you have to pay for? Write that down. You add it all together and that's your number. Hit that number at least 6 months straight. And I would recommend having at least 6 months of savings ready to go. By 6 months savings, I mean if you don't make any money in 6 months, which is unlikely at this point if you've been hitting your number for 6 months straight. But if you don't, you still have 6 months of savings to utilize. So having backup money in your bank account for, I recommend 6 months, and hitting your target net profit for 6 months. Those are the criteria that I would say you should be hitting in order to go full-time reselling. I was very lucky in my situation because both my husband and I were working full-time when we were both doing part-time reselling. And even if I made no money in reselling, his income would still cover us both. So in that way, there wasn't really that much of a risk for me to go full-time reselling because I knew we're always going to be able to pay our bills. He's working full-time and he can afford to pay for all of our financial costs. However, that's not the situation that I want to be in. So I definitely work hard so I can pull my weight. And now we are making more money on a reselling business than I was doing in my full-time job. So it is definitely possible. We are not doing anything special. You don't need an insane talent in reselling to become a reseller. I don't know if that's even a thing, like a reselling talent. You can, you can talk about having an eye for something, but ultimately a successful reseller is simply a hardworking person who does their research. That's it. Knowledge, information, consistency, and just hard work is what it takes to be a successful reseller. And by a successful reseller, I mean someone who's able to live off of being a reseller, okay? I don't mean, oh, you're making $1 million a year. Like, sure, you're successful, but you can be successful by making a full-time salary through reselling. To me, that's a successful reseller. I will stress the importance of going part-time reselling first. Do not jump into full-time reselling for fun. The reason I'm saying that is because going part-time reselling will teach you so much about reselling. It will teach you things you didn't know existed, and you will also learn to see if you actually like reselling. One thing is just watching other resellers and be like, oh, I can do that too. I'm sure you can, but will you enjoy doing it? That's the question. Is this something you want to do full time for the rest of your life? Is the question. And to know that, to understand that and get a better understanding of yourself and what you actually enjoy doing, you have to do it, and do it part time for a good amount of time. I think that's also a part of the reason I say I recommend 6 months of hitting your revenue number, because that way you kind of know if this is something you want to continue doing. So do you have the passion for it? Can you hit the number that you need to hit on a consistent basis? And do you have savings up? Those are the three criteria I say. As a full-time reseller, you need to hit in order to become a successful full-time reseller. If you guys have any questions about anything with reselling, go ahead and comment it. I did make a video on pros and cons about being a reseller. I don't think I included everything because sometimes I just forget points. But if you have a question, just let me know in the comments and I'll answer as honestly as I can when I see it, because there's so much more to reselling than you might think. People don't see the actual amount of work and dedication that goes into it. They think it's just, roses and petals. Is that what you say? Roses and ice cream. It is more than that. There are, stuff I don't like about reselling that are boring to me. Like, I don't like listing. I don't think that's fun, but you gotta do it. It's a job. It's got parts you like and parts you don't like, So definitely 100% try it out part-time before you go full-time if you have another job, and see how you like it, and then start taking it more seriously. Start making the income, or trying to get to the income that you need to make. And after you've done that for a while, then you'll have a better gist of whether or not you should quit your full-time job to go full-time reselling. And that's all I got for you guys today. Again, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.